All right, just taking a quick look at this new palm-sized power station from EBL. Yeah, this one's real tiny, and you might be thinking this is finally a competitor to the Jackery 100 Plus. Well, not quite. Not quite. This the Jackery is still like almost half the size of this thing. It's like, oh yeah, about half the weight, and the dimensions on it's about an inch smaller in almost every direction. So, and of course, this Jackery has a smaller battery, actually 99 watt hours, which means, you always got to check the latest regulations, but it means that as of as of today, you can take this thing on an airplane, right? So that's where this EBL, you're not going to, no, you're not going to take this thing on an airplane because well, we'll talk about the specs here, but the battery's too big. So, but there's other nice things here. If you're still looking for really a tiny power station, right? If you're still looking for something small, and this thing does have a proper built-in handle as well. So, that's where the Jackery doesn't have any kind of handle. So yeah, there's still a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of stuff to like here, and as you can see in this image as well, tucked in the handle area, there's actually some cooling vents. So again, the Jackery is all sealed up. So that kind of gives you a good indication here that this thing is going to be a little bit more powerful, a little bit more capable. So, how much capacity do you get, for something that can still kind of fit in the palm of your hand? How about 153 watt hours? So, still, yeah, there's still a lot you can do with this, isn't there? And you're getting 54 watt hours more than the Jackery. And of course, yes, just like the Jackery, this is LFP. So again, for those of you looking for a tiny, compact, truly portable power station with LFP, this is still going to be another option for you, isn't it? And, what's nice about this is they say, yeah, long life, of course, 3,000 cycles. And so they're calling this thing the P150, not only because of 153 watt hour battery, but 150 watts output. That's the most you could output at any given time. So that's pretty good as well. Now, of course, this is a DC only little power station, right? There's no AC inverter on this thing. But it's not just USB, right? It's not just USB like the Jackery. And as you can see, not only is there two barrel ports here, but I guess they're regulated at 14 volts. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? And that's just really a good idea for any power station that has any kind of regulated output, right? Because it's almost never 12 volts. I mean, I get it that, it's just kind of the standardized thing to say it's a 12 volt outlet, but, most power stations are regulated between, 12 and a half to 14 volts, right? I mean, that's kind of the range you really want to be at for a 12 volt appliance, right? So, don't just say 12 volts. If it's going to be outputting 14 volts, state that that's what it is. And that's what this product has done. And then, of course, you get the USB, two USB-A quick charges, two USB-Cs, 100 watts, and yes, in and out. So that's how you're going to charge this thing. And they're saying, yeah, if you actually max that out, 100 watt input, 1.5 hours. So kind of interesting, too, that's actually where the Jackery states 1.8 hours, even though it has a smaller battery and it has the 100 watt input as well. But I guess a lot of people were saying you can't actually get 100 watts going into that thing. I don't know. Let me know if you've used one of those. But yeah, this one is claiming you can pretty much just go full steam ahead with this thing. And, the other thing that's nice about this is this does support pass-through charging. Right? Now, there's kind of a little caveat here is that, if you are inputting with USB-C, you can't output USB-C as well. But if you're charging USB-C, you can always output all of these. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's still good. And even if you wanted to do some, high output USB-C at the same time, for whatever reason, technically, you could always get an adapter for the DC output and use one of those, things that are designed for your car socket, for your car. And the reason that would actually work too is because they do give you adapters. So yes, they give you an adapter to plug into this DC output that's like a female car socket thing, right? So, there's not enough room on this tiny power station, so they did it that way. So yeah, they do give you the adapter. And then if you're wondering too about, charging this thing from solar, yeah, they give you an adapter for solar as well. It's a 5521 to USB-C. So, a lot of these portable solar panels, yeah, they do output 5521. And that's all you got to do really is find a panel that does that. And then you can use that adapter and plug this thing right in. Now, some solar panels do output, USB-C as well. So, of course, you could do that. And that's, kind of interesting too, because, I guess that means you can just the straight output of the solar panel, right, would actually charge this thing. Now, they don't say, is it MPPT? I don't know, but I guess the point is they're not requiring like a USB-C PD protocol. And the final thing that this thing has, and, to me, no power station is complete without this. Yeah, the light. Actually, a real nice light, too. A big panel light for such a small power station. Not just a little flashlight, spotlight. No, a proper light that's going to, light up a room or a tent. And you could easily run this light all night long, right? I mean, on a full charge, this thing, they're saying it'll actually run it for 31 hours. And then lastly, the design of this thing, it really does look like a Jackery, doesn't it? It's not just trying to compete with Jackery. It literally looks like one, this black and orange color scheme. And not only that, but the way they have these outlines on the ports. I mean, this is like a direct copy of Jackery, right? I mean, in fact, if I Photoshop this name to say Jackery, you wouldn't, there'd be no question in your mind that this is a Jackery, right? So, yeah, a little bit of a bummer that they actually went so far to copy. Now, the one thing that I'll say is, it's still a lot better here, though, is this display, right? Not only is it not orange, but it's going to get the nice greenish, tealish color to the battery icon, but just much larger. Right? That's kind of the one thing I've always said, like with the Jackery is, hey, if you need bifocals, I hope you have them handy. I hope you have them next to you because you're going to need them to see. Look how tiny that is. It's like, look at that. It's like the same size as the USB-C. So, there's I don't know, there's a lot to like here. There's a lot to like here. Again, if you really like that Jackery 100, but you wish it had a little bit more power, a little bit more capacity, a little bit more capability. Maybe you wish, you could just read the display a little bit easier. Maybe you wish it had an LED light. And you don't care about, traveling with it, on an airliner. You just, want something light, small, portable to take with you on adventures, camping, hiking. And, you want proper 12-volt outlets. So, and again, as I mentioned, it has that adapter, the car socket adapter as well. So I wish they didn't copy the design of the Jackery so much, but I'm actually glad to see that they copied this concept, right? It's just nice to have another competitor, in this really tiny size class.